Mr. Krush, you were cut off earlier when you were going to make a comment on Mr. Kennedy's testimony. Would you like to make that now?
I actually have a few here. So just across the board, earlier Mr. Gregg talked to the fact that, the Healthcare.gov didn't implement what we call FIPS 199 and FIPS 200. Just to clarify what that is for everyone here, FIPS 199 is Federal Information Processing Standard 199. It requires you to categorize an information system in accordance with the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of an information system. We know that that was completed because there was a letter from Ms. Tavener out as part of the authorization process. FIPS 200 is the baseline controls for all Federal information systems. We also know that that was completed because they had an ATO letter that specified some of the vulnerabilities and what the process dealing with Healthcare.gov was. So I just wanted to talk to that point. Talking about also waiting from Target's perspective, waiting until a certain time to act. I don't think any of us here have also worked on the Target.com website or the back-end database, and I would tell you that a lot of the advanced attackers, unless you've done the forensic sampling and you've actually picked up the crumbs, you don't know when they actually attacked. And I think that that's under investigation right now. Healthcare.gov saying that Mr. Kennedy brought up the point that there was no security operations centers. Some of those $1.whatever million that have been allocated to my company was actually related to those early on. There's actually 2 security operations centers within HHS you might want to know of. They have a centralized one which does monitoring of the entire enterprise. And on top of that, CMS has its own security operations centers. And I can tell you from a technology perspective, some of the technologies they've implemented is, top notch. It's what you would expect in a top tier security operations center in the U.S. federal government.
Thank you. According to Mr. Gregg's testimony, that this site is a major target, but the attacks won't be accurate or of interest or of value until after March. What do you anticipate that March will bring?
Nothing. The truth is, when it comes to March, if an attacker wants something off the site, they are going to continuously do whatever they can to gain access. I think one of the things that was also said is that there was a certain number of incidents, and those numbers do sound low, but once again, everybody here, none of us have worked in the Security Operations Center, which does exist within CMS, so we don't necessarily know what the escalation requirements are. So, for example, most government websites literally are enumerated passively, meaning, and this is still considered an incident via DHS. If you go through and you do scans on a website, meaning that you're looking for open ports, protocols, and services, that is considered an incident. Now, does every organization report those? No, because you would have hundreds of thousands of reports a day. However, some of the I got a call last night from actually a news reporter, and they called me up to talk about Mr. Kennedy's analysis he had done on the website. And I just want to be clear that if him and his security researchers actually did go to a .gov, they did passively enumerate and actually pull data in an unauthorized manner, then that is a very significant issue. I was also, I went to the course while I was in the military for the FBI, and I can tell you that that is it's a great concern to us when anybody goes out to a federal government website without permission and is actually passively enumerating, then executing something to pull data off that website.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ponemon. For my last few, you indicated that your mother had this incident happen with her identity. What about that stolen information affected her health care?
In the case of my mom, she would fall into the category of an identity. She's an identity theft victim, but not a medical identity theft victim, because not really her medical records were not exposed. And so that would be a different crime. Okay. And thank goodness she's not a medical identity theft victim, because that's bad news. It's really hard.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My time is expired, but I hope someone would ask the value of someone having hacked the Healthcare.gov.